I was on a panel last night, and afterwards somebody came up to me and said, "You don't sound Irish." So I'm just going to do a mic check real quick. This, that, these, and those, that's the way the TH goes. My name is Paul Walsh. I'm the founder of a cybersecurity company called Metacert. And everything that I do is to try and help people feel safe and secure when opening a link. So how do you know that website is not going to hijack your CPU and mine crypto? How do you know the website is not a phishing site? How do you know the content is suitable for children? How do you know the website is really owned by the company who claims to own it? How do you know that that application or chatbot is not malicious or phishing? These are all questions we ask ourselves, or at least I hope we ask ourselves before opening a link. So I was one of the first employed by AOL back in the 90s. I dare say some of you are even old enough to know what AOL is. I was part of the small team that launched technologies like 56K modem protocol, and I could tell the speed of the connection just by the sound. And I helped to launch technologies like internet radio, online games, AOL Instant Messenger, and a bunch of other technologies. My COO and a couple of my engineers were responsible for building all of this software. So they built the original add-ons for Dig, Delicious, PayPal, eBay, Yahoo, Google, Microsoft, and Bugfix in Firefox. And I also have been heavily involved in various W3C initiatives. The W3C is the standards body for the web that creates standards like HTML and the semantic web. I'm one of the 7 founders of the Mobile Web Initiative and one of the 2 people that co-instigated the standard for URL categorization. So I'm telling you that story because I think it's always important to know the background and the story of the founders, because then you can see what their intent is. We are really passionate about open web, open standards, and open source movements. Ian, my COO, was one of the first 25 contributors to the Mozilla Foundation and was responsible for starting and harnessing the developer ecosystem that helped to make Firefox so successful. So I'm going to pause for a second. Now, $1,000 has been lost in a scam. What I'd like you to remember is that I'm here because I want to help you make sure that you're safe and secure when opening a link. Now, what I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, and this is not a ploy to get you to install software, because most of the top crypto companies have already installed our software inside their communities, inside Slack and Telegram, to protect you as an enthusiast. And a lot of enthusiasts have already installed our browser extension called Kryptonite. So I'm going to give out today five Trezor hardware wallets. And what I'd like you to do is to be able to tell me which website is fake and which one is real when I pull it up. But in order to do that, you need to install one of our tools, because it's technically impossible to know the difference when I show you. I don't care how smart or technical you are, even if you've got all 20 years experience in the cyber world, you will not know the difference. So go to metacertprotocol.com and install either Kryptonite or add our free security bot to Telegram. Of all of the attacks that you hear in the crypto world, you'll hear a lot about hacking, but actually over half of all revenue generated by cyber criminals is through phishing. Is there anybody in this room who is already working in the crypto world who hasn't read about a phishing scam, either inside Slack or Telegram or just on the web generally? It's very likely that you haven't. You have heard of phishing scams. Some people in this room, I dare say, have already been a victim of a phishing scam. So the browser extension I told you about is promoted by companies like MyEtherWallet on their homepage, and it's used by a lot of companies that want to help keep their community safe. So I'm just showing you that to show you there's a little bit of credibility there before you actually install it. So here's my question. Which of these 2 websites is real and which is fake? And I'll just bring it up a little bit closer for you. Feel free to scream out in the audience, but what I would say is go to the Telegram group either now or in the next hour, and that is t.me/metacert, and just post in which one you think is real and which one you think is not, but explain why, because otherwise it's a 50-50 chance of getting it right. Does anybody in the audience know which is fake and which is real? Anybody? Shout it out. Which one? Which one? Why? Why? You can't guess by the domain name. Why? Come on. Okay, so here's the problem, right? Both have what's called an SSL security certificate. It gives you that nice, fuzzy feeling of trust with the green padlock in the toolbar. But unfortunately, if there's only one thing you should remember, mate, actually two things. One is, if you want to come see me later, I'm the guy with the red shoes. The second thing is, do not trust the green padlock. If that's the only thing that you take away from my talk, then I have actually done my job, because I will have saved at least one person from losing their entire savings. You would not believe how many people I've spoken to who've lost all of their savings. In 2017, all I read about was phishing scams inside Slack. So over a short period of time, Omise Go, Golem, Endorse, Enigma, Ocean Protocol, Mercury Protocol, Raven Protocol, BigChain DB, and many of the other crypto companies all installed Metacert. And it was like turning off a tap of phishing attacks. But at the time, when I gave this same talk in LA last year, I said that it would move to Telegram. As soon as phishing was stopped in Slack, it would move to Telegram, and now it is. So now all you have to do is install our security bot so they can go off to Discord or wherever else they want to go. So don't look at the SSL certificate. The reason for that is because years ago, you could kind of trust it because it meant it was encrypted, and it also meant that the domain name of the email address was validated, so there was a little bit of trust. However, with HTTPS everywhere, we have the likes of, no, well, shall I name them? No, I won't. There's one company that issues free SSL certificates automatically. You don't prove anything. And they've issued over 20,000 SSL certificates to domain names with the term PayPal in it. 20,000 plus with the word PayPal. Now, you would have thought that maybe after the second or third or fourth or fifth or 150, they would have thought, well, maybe these are phishing websites. I don't think they should be held responsible or accountable for phishing, and I don't think they should try and address it. But I do believe we all have a social responsibility to help make sure that our technology is not used for bad as well as good. So in a few months' time, Chrome is going to start promoting websites, highlighting websites that do not have an SSL certificate, and they're going to put a big message to say this is unsecure. Now, that means everybody is going to be looking for that green shield, which means more people are going to fall for phishing scams because phishing websites use these for free that are issued automatically. So don't look out for them. It's a 50-50 chance. You're not going to know which one it is. So if you do install kryptonite, it will block more phishing websites and more fake social media accounts than any other software. But the most important thing is, you can't really see it here, but this was a bit of a social experiment as well. When you install this extension for Firefox or Chrome, and today I believe we submitted it for Opera, there's a shield that's installed in the toolbar on the top right-hand corner. What we do is we verify crypto websites within exchanges, wallets, and ICOs and tokens. Once it's verified, it goes into our database. So every user using kryptonite gets a green shield to say this has been verified. So forget about the certificate, just look at the green shield. I have a tip for people who actually run ICOs and token projects. Because we're working with so many, it's incredible, behind the scenes, as well as using our software. And I help advise a lot of founding teams. And one thing that I try to encourage them, and if there's anybody in the audience that's actually running a project, I understand and sympathize that you have to have time-sensitive campaigns around selling tokens. But please balance it with the fact that we're encouraging and conditioning people to opening up links really quick without thinking about it, because they're becoming conditioned to, there's a special offer, I need to open it and buy these tokens really quickly. So just be careful and be mindful of that. When buying domain names, if you're in the crypto world, don't bother your time and money buying lots and lots of domain names. You might want to buy a few of the top few, but these are the ones from, these are all phishing websites from my Ether wallet. There's a pagination of 5 pages because we have so many people reporting suspicious links to us. We have industry experts inside of our Slack. We have other ways and means to identify phishing scams. So don't bother buying all of those domains, but if you do buy them, don't redirect them to your main site because you don't want people getting used to being redirected. So with that, my name is Paul Walsh. I'm the CEO of MetaCert. Everything you saw is centralized. However, in the middle of all of our products is what's called a cyber threat intelligence system. Security companies rely on their own, or they license the data from companies like MetaCert. Ours happens to be the most advanced in the world. The size of our database is the size of Norton, McAfee, and Kaspersky combined. But we're moving that to a blockchain. We're supported by consensus. And the reason we're doing that is we have the web categorized into 65 categories, including phishing, malware, sports, religion, XXX for the purpose of parental controls, news for the purpose of news credibility. But in order to be able to scale that even further and to grow with the growth of the web, where we can verify Twitter accounts, Facebook profile pages, LinkedIn profile pages, we need help from the community. From you if you want to participate, if you're passionate about news, if you're passionate about child safety, if you're passionate about just classifying the web or anti-malware or phishing. The reason we're doing that is because crowdsourcing trust and reputation on the web just was not possible. I built my first website back in the mid-90s, so I've been around the web for a long time, like many of you, and trust and reputation just never worked, because if you submitted a website to another list and said, I think this is phishing, there's no way really to determine why you would submit that website. Is it a competitor's website? So by putting it on the blockchain and getting everybody else to do the verification process and introducing a token that incentivizes good behavior, when you stake some token to say, I think this is a sports website, or I'd like to verify this Twitter account, and then everybody else actually contributes to that decision-making process, when it's actually decided, then everybody gets paid tokens. And for those of you that are technical, think of it as a new WHOIS database, but with credible, verified information. So what we're creating is the new trust protocol for the internet. So ISPs, imagine the Wi-Fi in this room. Imagine if this Wi-Fi blocked phishing websites or other types of websites that are detrimental. So if you'd like to participate, come and find me. We have a nice, vibrant community. We had about 3,000 people in our Telegram group in about 3 days, just from some of the tools that we use. And I do urge you, please, to install Kryptonite or the Telegram bot to keep you safe. And if nobody ends up winning these as a result of that little quiz, then I'll think of another way to give them away for free. Thank you very much for your attention.